Today with Elissa Strutton from Maha Movement. We've met in yoga class after I had been injured and I really needed a way to do yoga. I found her yoga for healing class, and when I was in there, I really found out that using the therapy balls can help to not only support your wrist, your back, your neck, just everything. And what I realized is when I had my career in human resources, I spent so much time with people trying to figure out their desk and their ergonomics. But when I go to this class, I find that I don't have to spend as much time worrying about the exact placement of my desk. That's not to say go back to work and totally mess up your workspace, but I do think that there's techniques that we can do, and we're going to show you a few of them that you can do throughout the day, either at your desk or in your home office, your kitchen counter, your really anywhere that's like a flat surface. You can show your wrists and hands some love. So with that, I'm going to let the expert show us how to do it, and we're both going to demonstrate back here on the desk so that you can take it right back into work today.
Perfect. So first of all, I want you to consider that your hands are like instruments, and they are the vehicle through which you express yourself, and they help you send emails and texts and memos.
We all have the texting fingers.
Yeah, and that's great. And at the same time, it's like we get into these patterns of movement repetitively, and that creates compensation patterns and can lead to pain.
Right.
So today I want to share just a couple of techniques that you can use at your desk or anywhere that you have access to a hard surface, using the therapy balls to help care for your hands.
Now, do you recommend they use these over, like, what if they have a tennis ball at their desk?
If that's all they have, it'll work.
Go for it. Okay.
These do have a grip and a texture to them that allows for creating some shear and getting deeper into the connective tissue.
Yeah.
And
I feel like there's like a little grip.
Absolutely.
So they don't slip.
Yeah. And there's
and
also
tennis
density.
Balls are really squishy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the density that also allows you to get into those deeper layers.
Okay.
So first we're going to start with what is called the thenar eminence. It's that fleshy part of the thumb. And so let's come around to the sides of the table. And you want to put the ball down on the table, and right where that fleshy part of the thumb is, you put the hand down on the ball. The other hand covers it. And you just want to lean in a little bit, and it's kind of like you're making lemonade or squishing or squeezing lemons. Yeah, squishing and squeezing. And then you make a little bit of a rotational type of movement, so you're creating some shear. And you want to feel
it feels good just like starting now.
Yeah, you want to
really good.
Apply the amount of pressure that feels tolerable, like a little bit of uncomfortableness, but it's a comfortable level of that. Okay, so that's our first move that we want to do. And leaning into your desk like this gives you more leverage.
Okay.
You could do it from a seated position, but leaning in from standing position will give you more leverage to apply more pressure.
Yeah. And then believe me, your HR people will be happy you're doing something.
Right? Yeah.
They won't care if you're standing up and squeezing out your wrists.
And then the next thing that we're going to do is you want to interlace your fingers, and you'll take the ball and just roll it around the whole periphery of the palm of your hand. So it's just a slow, deliberate movement that you're making around the palm of your hand, and then go the opposite direction.
So my husband would have to clean up his desk.
Yeah.
I hear it's messy. There's papers everywhere. That feels really good on this part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing this, you want to make sure that your wrist is not angled at like a 90-degree or to its full degree of extension at the wrist.
Okay.
Keep it kind of flat. And then the next thing.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't want you to be putting too much downward pressure at the wrist joint.
Okay.
It keeps it kind of at an angle. Then the next thing that you'll do is kind of like grabbing the ball like a little vice grip, if you will. Press straight down. And when you press straight down, you want to squeeze.
Okay.
Like you're trying to squish the ball this way, and then release. And you can use the other hand on the desk for a little bit of support, and squeeze, and release, and squeeze, and release.
And I don't know anyone who doesn't text anymore, so I feel like we have all our conversations in this little crimped up pattern. So even if you're not at work,
Right, and you're
You're
using your
testing.
hands in a limited range of motion, and that has a ripple effect all the way up to your shoulder. So then we'll finish that off with just one more scroll around the whole periphery of the palm of your hand. And of course, we want to do the other side too.
Yeah. Should we just do a recap so it was
Let's go to the other side.
Do the other one first.
And
should we switch sides?
No, that's okay. And then just the thumb, the thenar eminence, you've got that answer for your next trivia game. Right at the fleshy part of the thumb. It's not in the palm, and it's not at the carpal tunnel region either. Right at that thenar eminence there, and press down the fleshy part of the thumb, and then you just make your orange juice or lemonade. And you can probably hear just a little bit of friction that I'm creating at the desk. I'm pressing pretty hard. And you want to feel it warming up, and you want to feel that friction that you're creating at the thumb. Then to go a little bit further with that interlacing of the fingers, go around the whole periphery of the palm of your hand. It's kind of like you're kneading dough or flattening something out. And the balls are pretty dense, but they also have a little bit of give to them.
It's like a little squish, but not too much.
Yeah. We're trying to mimic the touch of a massage therapist. So you become your own massage therapist of sorts.
Yeah, this one feels really good, you guys. It's like, it feels like a massage.
Yeah, exactly. Don't fire your massage therapist.
It's still good, but in between visits.
Exactly. And then last but not least here, you again take that ball right in that place between the index finger and the thumb, and that fleshy part right there, and then you press straight down. And when you press straight down, just lean in, maybe breathe in, and squeeze, and release, and squeeze, and release. And one more time, you want to squeeze that ball and release. And then just one last time, go around the whole palm of the hand. Next, I want to take you to the forearm. So you want to put the therapy ball back inside.
Should we say that real quick? So it's around, squeeze,
squeeze the lemon,
squeeze, release. So it's like three movements that you can do. And I want to say, even with talking, that was less than 5 minutes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So super quick. You could do it 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, just
I feel like you should start out your day like that, and then end
get yourself warmed up.
So like everything's loose, and then end that way.
So now we'll take the ball and put it back inside of its tote so that we can use them together. And I love this one, and you might really be interested in finding out how much tenderness we actually feel in the forearms, because all of those muscles in the forearms help to control what you're doing with your hands.
Yeah.
And so when we're typing and we're at our desk and we're extending our wrist all day, then these
really
tissues, the extensors on your forearm, get a little bit tender.
Yeah. So I really noticed this. My chair broke, so I'm using chairs like all around the house. And depending on how the chair is, I've been in a lot of just pain. So this would have been handy. I just ordered a new chair. It's here. It's in a box. It's ready to go.
Great. Well, let's bring the top of your forearm so the palm faces upward.
Okay.
And you rest the forearm on top of the therapy balls. Then you use the other arm on top. And so you use that other arm on top, maybe this part of your forearm of this arm, just over a little bit more. Yeah. And so you can apply more weight. And you want to watch your mechanics behind you too, so you're not rounded and hunched over. You want to find some length there in the spine.
I'm always with my ears in my... Okay.
Aren't we all? We'll have to work on that a little bit.
My ears are, my shoulders and ears are connected.
So it's very, very slow to start, and you're just scrolling that ball set from the wrist region back towards your elbow.
How far up? All the way?
You can go all the way up to your elbow. You can go all the way towards your wrist, and you want to make sure that you keep your wrist joint soft as you're doing this.
Now, this one, people at work might wonder what you're doing, but I tell you, just do it anyway because it feels really good.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, everyone will be trying to borrow your balls.
Yeah, right? So you might notice we started with the right hand. You're right-handed, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this side might feel a little bit more tender than the other, and these are good things to take note of.
I feel it like right here.
So the other thing that you can do is find a spot that feels a little bit tender, lean into it,
Okay.
and then you just point and flex your wrist. So just move your wrist joint, right?
Yeah, feels really good.
And then you can let go of the contact of the top forearm on the bottom forearm and just roll the forearm inward and outward. Then you can turn the palm downward and rest the other side of the forearm over the therapy balls. And this is where you really have to keep the wrist joint soft.
Okay.
Use
So
the other,
soft?
yeah,
Okay.
soft wrist joint. The other forearm on top,
Okay.
and just slowly scroll the ball back towards your elbow and towards your wrist. But don't get right on the wrist joint.
Which
So-
reminds me, we have a disclaimer that we're not physicians, so always contact your doctor if you feel any other discomfort than just the normal strain. And because it's a litigious world, we have to say that.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Yeah. Contact your doctor before beginning any
Yeah.
exercise program or therapeutically
Yeah.
oriented work.
Yeah. Although in my case, I was going to physical therapy and yeah, it just wasn't working. So for me, this actually worked better than the doctor, but don't quote me on that or skip your appointments.
Right.
But yeah, this feels really nice.
Well, it's really important that we empower ourselves to take care of ourselves, to
Yeah.
see our doctors when we need to see our doctors, and also take our self-care into our own hands. It's like
Yeah.
preventative maintenance.
I've noticed a huge difference since I have the therapy balls.
So let's go to the other side and
Okay.
just use that forearm, or place the forearm on top of the therapy balls and use the other forearm on top and just slowly scroll back and forth. And the slower you move, the deeper that you can reach with the therapy balls.
Okay.
We're so accustomed to moving so quickly,
I know.
and that's part of our work is to learn to slow down.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the beginning of her class every week, I start out very quick, trying to move from one thing to another, and by the end, I'm really relaxed and much slower. You probably notice that with everybody. They're like trying to move from one thing to the other super fast before you remember to be mindful.
So start that process of slowing it down and find that tender area. Is this side more tender than the other, or vice versa?
You know, this one is just more tender, and like this one was up higher, and this one I'm feeling it right
A
here.
different space.
Yeah.
So lean in and then just point and flex at your wrist, the arm that you're working on. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good.
And then
Probably because the phone, I keep it like softer in one hand
Oh,
and then
yeah.
scroll with the other. Yeah.
Now you can release the contact of the right forearm with the left, and then just roll the forearm inward and outward. And if you're one of those people that can pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time, maybe you roll the ball set as you are rolling the forearm inward and outward.
We'll find out if I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
Right
looks
now.
like it.
Yeah, looks like I can do it.
We won't test that later.
I think next time I'll take off my bracelet. There.
Yeah, you can always put your bracelet or your watch just really close to your wrist and get it out of the way. Last but not least here, take the forearm and turn it over so that the palm of the hand is facing the desk.
Okay.
And you can use the other forearm on top to add a little bit more pressure and a little weight. And if you find that, you know, using the other arm is too much, just skip it and put that forearm on the desk and just roll without it.
I think it feels great.
Yeah, well, everyone has a different response to this kind of work, though. It's like what feels good for one person may not feel so great for another. It might just be too much pressure.
That's true. Mine is when we do the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, part of the beauty of these is that you're always in control of how much pressure you're applying and the pace that you move at and where you're working with. Okay. So you have the hands and the forearms, and to follow that up, you can just stand up and maybe roll your wrists around a little bit. This is always a good mini break, just pausing between thoughts or pausing between a message that you're writing in your email. And just rolling your wrists, and then you can also bring your hands up. This might be a little bit confusing, but it's a little bit more choreographed. And then you just reach the hands away from you and roll over on the tops of the hands. So it's very simple, but it mobilizes your wrists and your elbows in a very lovely way.
Honestly, my hands feel really good.
Now, if you were to reach the arms up overhead, we didn't test this at first, but if you were to reach the arms up overhead, you might find that your shoulders have responded or feel a little bit more comfortable
not so
in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't feel as tight when
Right.
you reach the arms up by just working with your hands and your forearms.
We're going to put the link in the comments so that you can find which therapy balls she's using and which size. Like we said, though, I mean, if you had to use a tennis ball, you could, but I do feel like these are real firm. I used tennis balls before I met you, and I felt like they used to squish. The physical therapist had me doing them in a sock,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like they were okay, but once I got these, they could kind of, I don't want to say dig in, but I kind of do want to say dig in.
They do, yeah.
A little better.
Well, if that's all you have, if all you have is a tennis ball or two tennis balls and a sock, then
yeah,
use that. And when you can, get a set of therapy balls that are intended for this use.
Right.
And can help you dig in a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, and if you do experience pain a lot, it's a really small investment. And then to take those few minutes every day just to remember to, well, one, take a breath and just relax, but two, step away from your work. I mean, I know when I did ergonomics at companies, they would always say every hour on the hour, if you just even got up and did like a little stretch, it would be huge. So I feel like the same goes for the therapy balls. If just set a timer in your calendar or some sort of reminder just to every once in a while show them some love and roll it out. The link to your site will be in the comments, and then it's called Maha Movement, and so people can find, if you're local, you're actually going into workspaces, so they can find you that way. And then I'll be doing more events live on the Awaken Professional Live, so if you go to my events tab, you can sign up and you can be notified of what's next. And is there anything else you want to add?
That's it. Thank you for letting me share.
It's really fun because we've been talking about this for a while, so it's really exciting to have what was in theory be now actually in fruition. So, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.